Hello, I'm Bill Curtis. Their instant fury with winds over 300 miles an hour is unmatched in all of nature. Their power so intense they can pick up and move city blocks in seconds. Tornadoes, dark funnels of hot rotating air, a signal of impending devastation. After years of study, it's not yet known exactly how they form or when they will strike. They're a weather forecaster's nightmare. For some, however, these freaks of Mother Nature are a drawing card, a sight to behold. From scientists to news personnel and even hobbyists, the spotting of a deadly twister can serve as an emotional high. In this edition of Investigative Reports, we join those who follow the unpredictable weather of the Great Plains. They call themselves the Storm Chasers.
The National Weather Service Office has issued a tornado warning for Hutchinson and Marion counties. At 5:22 p.m., a tornado was reported on the ground near the town of Haven, moving northeast at 25 miles per hour. If you are in or near the town of Heston, take cover immediately. You are in the path of this dangerous tornado. All persons in the area should go to their basement or storm shelter immediately. Extreme caution is advised.
Oh, I hope she's in her basement. It's gonna take all them houses. Oh, I hope she's in her basement. Get away from the windows! Get away! Get away! Get away! Get away! Get away! Where's everybody? Get up under the girders. Is that where you want to go? Yes. Underneath the girders. Control it, Ted. It's coming at us. Hang on, Ted. Yes. I got you. Hang on. You're all right. Put your hands up.
Tornadoes are the most violent storms on Earth. Wind speeds in the center of a large tornado can reach 300 miles per hour. They leave behind them a trail of destruction and occasionally death.
Go ahead, Kyle, 22.
Also in their wake is a group of individuals who call themselves Storm Chasers.
Highway 30 coming up on 9.
Equipped with radios and cameras, they chase storm systems for hundreds of miles, determined to capture the elusive tornadoes on videotape.
Well, what's another 100 miles after you've gone 400? So, anyway. The average chase, by the way, is probably 600 to 700 miles.
Some of the storm chasers are scientists who study tornadoes with hopes of improving our ability to predict their behavior.
Are you still in town there?
Some are enthusiastic amateurs who chase tornadoes as a weekend hobby. And some work for local television stations, which compete vigorously to be the first to broadcast warnings of dangerous weather, both to help save lives and to boost ratings.
Once again, you witnessed why Five Alive has the most respected weather team in the state. When a wall cloud dropped near Hollis, Vince Miller and the First Alert Storm team were the only ones to bring you live video, the only ones even near the storm. And we stayed with the weather through the night. The state's only Emmy-winning weather team, first and only on the scene again. You can depend on the First Alert Storm team only on 5 Alive.
30 seconds. Stand by one.
Here's what it looks like in terms of the satellite view, and we did have some pretty good thunderstorms earlier this morning that moved southeastward out of southwestern Kansas and parts of the Oklahoma, Texas panhandles. Brought 2 or 3 inches of rain in some instances to some of this region.
Tornadoes can occur in any part of the globe, but they're most common here in the United States, especially in the lower Midwest, the area known as Tornado Alley. The heart of Tornado Alley is in Oklahoma.
Say Cleveland and McLean County, for example, even Stevens County, but basically the storms are way off to our east and southeast, and I don't think we really have to worry about anything here, certainly not in the immediate future whatsoever.
And faded.
We have more tornadoes in Oklahoma per unit area than any other parcel of land in the world. And in terms of violent tornadoes, which are the F4s, the F5s, again, we have more of those per unit area than any other part of the world. So for rapidly changing weather, it doesn't take much. You can go to bed at night and wake up in the morning to a completely different type of weather regimen.
This is great. This is great. This is all what it's all about.
We're going to almost have to play the whole state today, so this is going to be a little tricky. We have a chance of severe weather here in Oklahoma City. We could have tornadic storms here. I think we've got a better play than we probably had all year long, even here in this area. There's already a tornado watch out for eastern Colorado, but we're going to have to keep a crew here, I think, in the city, or at least have somebody that can do some work here in the city.
On any day when severe weather's in the forecast, Vince Miller calls a meeting of the station's news crews, meteorologists, and storm chasers. Correct deployment of their forces is crucial. If a tornado touches down, they want to have one of their chasers nearby.
Then we're in good shape.
West on 40 and hold like Hinton.
He seems to like west on 40 a lot.
Well, it's got good roads. Hinton's got good roads. That's what I was looking at. That gives me a good south road and a good north road.
How long does it take you to get from here to Hinton?
45 minutes to an hour.
I think during late afternoon, the area is going to be more in here.
Yeah.
Well, that gives us coverage.
Okay, let's leave.
What's going on, okay?
Let's make it happen, guys. We have some chasers who are full-time employees of the station. Then we have some chasers who I suppose you would call part-time employees or contract employees. Butch is a minister. He normally will not chase on Wednesday evenings unless he has long advance notice, because Wednesday evening is when a number of the churches have, say, midweek services or classes. And he normally doesn't chase on Sunday mornings for the obvious reasons.
Father, I enter into your courts not by my righteousness, but by Christ's righteousness.
My real job is I'm a minister. I've been in law enforcement. I've sold insurance. I've sold cars. I've worked as a private investigator. I've done a little bit of everything, so I can go off in the spring and chase tornadoes.
We ask this in Christ's name. Amen.
A lot of my sermons get wrote in the front seat of this car as I'm going down the highway. A lot of the times I'll have on tapes, cassettes, go out and take different books. As we're sitting, we spend a lot of time out in the field, so I'll set out and I may write a whole series of sermons while I'm out sitting in the car. Storm chasers are kind of a different breed. We're all kind of crazy, and believe it or not, a lot of them are not real social. They're kind of shy individuals, more the intellectual type, and it allows me to get in some doors that normally I wouldn't be able to get into.
Chasing storms is risky. Butch has a unique method of preparing for the hazards of the chase.
One of the things that I do is I say a blessing over my car. I actually place angels around the car and on the motor and on the steering wheel to protect me. Christ says that we command angels. They're at our commanding. So we're actually talking about each one of us have at our disposal 72,000 angels.
Butch is into chasing big time, and he's very good at what he does. He has seen as many tornadoes this year as anybody probably in the state of Oklahoma. He, in fact, saw the first tornado to touch down in Oklahoma this year and has seen a number of other tornadoes, too, as the season has progressed.
Hello, tornado, going to the ground. Let's go. It's coming right over the top of me. Come on, talk to me. It's right over the top of me. Talk to me. Come on. It's right over the top of me. Come on, man. Tornado on the ground. Tornado on the ground.
We are seeking shelter right now. Gotta go.
Okay, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and try to punch that up. I'm going to turn around here and show you what's going on. A report from Fast Unit 4, Butch Phillips, who told you that he had to leave because the action was getting much too close to him. You can see right on the west edge of the screen here.
I think we have Butch Phillips now live.
I think we have Butch on the phone with some information about the tornado. Butch.
Hello, can you hear me? I can just barely hear you, Vince. You can hear the hail coming down out here.
The tornado has lifted. It was a very brief touchdown. We've got golf ball size hail. We've got winds in excess of 75 miles an hour. I'm trying to shoot as much video as I can and stay into the protection right now, Vince. The tornado has been...
Tornadoes are caused when areas of cool, dry air collide with warm, humid air masses. Large rotating thunderstorms called supercells have formed, and in some of these, a strong updraft of wind begins to spin. When these funnel-shaped clouds touch the ground, they're called tornadoes. Winds within the twister reach speeds of over 100 and possibly as high as 300 miles per hour.
We went to bed last night with the forecast of good possibility of thunderstorms, good chance for tornadoes in western Oklahoma, northwestern Oklahoma. We got up this morning, and up until about 10:30 this morning, that forecast was holding true. 325 miles later, we have seen no storms. We have seen no clouds. All we've had is very hot temperatures.
Trying to put yourself next to a tornado can be difficult as well as dangerous. But the first problem is to find one. More than 90% of chases end up as what the chasers call a bust.
This is the most active part of storm chasing. It gets frustrating. You get all excited. We've been waiting for this system for a week, and it gets here and decides it wants to changes its mind, and so all of the energy that's pumped and excited and ready to go, and now we're out in western Oklahoma in 96-degree temperature driving around. So. Tornadoes are a perversion of nature. I've seen them take one house and destroy it, and be a nice big beautiful brick home, and there'd be a little shack sitting across the street from it that's untouched. Yeah, I've seen them put toothpicks through metal poles, put straws through telephone poles. I've seen it pick up pigs and throw them a mile, and the pigs survive. I mean, a whole herd. Pigs were literally flying through the air.
The worst tornado in Oklahoma was back in 1947. Hit a town called Woodward where over 100 people were killed. In fact, this tornado was on the ground for a number of hours. It touched down in Texas and essentially destroyed a couple towns called Higgins and Glazier, Texas. And there were some reports that said that two men that were standing together in Higgins, their bodies were found 3 miles away from each other. The tornado at times was 2 miles wide. There were over 100 blocks that were just completely leveled in the town of Woodward.
Restaurant duties. Yeah. See, you guys think I just eat. This is the reason why I have to, know food so well. Because you got to be able to serve it.
When he's not preaching or chasing storms, Butch helps out in his parents' grocery store in the town of Jones, Oklahoma.
His grandma really taught him how to chase storms. She could read clouds. She had a lot of Indian in her, and she was taught through her generation how to read storms and clouds and stuff like this. And she was good at it. She really was. And she taught Butch that when he was a kid.
She had 27 grandchildren, but he was her favorite. Don't ever print that word "get out" in Oklahoma, though, because I got 7 brothers and sisters that would get kind of mad if I admitted that he was her favorite.
But he's almost got caught a couple of times. One time he's in his car and he had to outrun one that almost got him, And sometimes you think, well, maybe it'll whip him around a tree a couple of times. He'll come home, do something else different, and won't be part of it. But he enjoys it.
Grandma was part Indian, and all the Indian folklores. When the rain crow called, it was going to be raining within 3 days, and when the cows were laying down in the field, it would be raining within 12 hours. It's, I guess, just kind of the old folklore. When the clouds were doing certain things, the weather was going to do certain things, and that's what puts me underneath most of the tornadoes. Surprisingly, it's all the technical information and all the wizardry and gadgetry we have, but the old tricks that Grandma taught me is what usually puts me on the storms. There is a chance of tornado development this afternoon with heating of the day. It's unlikely today, but there is a chance a thunderstorm can produce a tornado at any time. It doesn't have to have a a lot of special dynamics that can sometimes create their own environment. So, as the saying goes, if we're lucky, we'll see one. 49 Kiowa 22. Just to refer, I've got a lowering. This is 949 to be just to the southwest of Duke.
Butch sees an area of lowered clouds, one of the precursors to a tornado. He alerts Vince back at the station and sends him a video picture through his mobile phone line.
It's very weak, but it's rotating.
Okay.
The storm itself looks impressive.
Okay. Yeah, that stuff in the center looks like it's dying.
Very
Looks sort of
impressive.
mushy.
Very impressive rain core. Boy, you can see it great. It's backlit. Man, it's fantastic. Got some great wind in it. It's got outflow winds coming up out probably 3 to 4 miles in front of it. It's doing a full circle. Yeah, it's great. It's doing a full circle. In fact, it's starting to develop a little bit of a roll cloud, gust cloud off of it now. Real good storm. We going to do anything with it, or are we basically going to stay off there?
Winds aloft aren't real good.
Okay.
I think the reason this stuff is set off is just simply it's pretty warm. It's been in the 90s, even mid-90s south of the front, and it's, in some instances 70s north of the front right now. But I don't think it's going to be any big deal except somebody's getting a lot of rain. Anyway, that's it. Looks like, if anything, it's probably putting out just simply a lot of rain, maybe some small hail.
Okay. Okay. Yep, that gives me an idea what to do.
Butch's storm is not going to make the news. Even worse for him, there are reports of severe weather in another part of the state.
Right now, there's tornadoes on the ground in southwest Kansas. A little bit disgusted right now, especially when I knew, when my gut said go that way and I let them talk me into coming down here. We picked wrong. It's, well, it's you got to make a choice. You got to make a guess. And sometimes you pick wrong. And we picked wrong. Or I should say, they picked wrong.
There are several interesting features about Tornado Alley, which makes it a high area of tornado frequency. And one is the proximity of the Gulf of Mexico. The Gulf of Mexico is where we get our moist, warm air, which is the fuel, if you will, for these thunderstorms to occur. From the Rocky Mountains, we get elevated areas of dry air and cooler air. We also have the deserts to the southwest. That gives us a source of dry air. And when we get low-pressure systems that develop over the Great Plains that draw up these three air masses together is where we get this severe weather that occurs.
South-southwesterly boundary layer winds indicate that dryline should not translate too far eastward during day one, and that'll be our key. We need to go
Gene
further out
Roden
west.
works as a librarian at the National Severe Storms Laboratory in Norman, Oklahoma. It's a job that allows him to indulge his passion, storm chasing.
Drive like a maniac to keep up with them.
With reports of a large storm system approaching from the west, he and a few friends have arranged to take 2 days off from work in the hope that they might catch a tornado.
250 is it, but 500, you get up to 500 and that's going to be a major large tornado.
1 year ago today, we got married, and we're looking forward to embarking on a honeymoon in Hawaii. So this year we traded Hawaii for storm chasing in the southern plains. So yeah, we're looking at our 1 year anniversary today. Looks like we're going to go to western Kansas. and see what happens. Not much of a honeymoon maybe, but in some people's eyes, but we're pretty excited about it and looking forward to seeing some severe weather.
I think it's great. I love it. I'm so glad they can drive and they have all this modern technology with the video cameras because they're giving so much to us weather enthusiasts. You know what I mean? They're putting us right there and you're seeing the clouds and the formation. You can examine how the movement is of the various clouds and how they're spinning and also the twisters. And also they back up and you get wonderful views of the cumulonimbus because the cumulonimbus is the king of the clouds. That is the cloud king. It's a massive cloud. It's bigger than Mount Everest.
I've never seen a tornado in real life, so I'm kind of looking for the adventure. And heard lots of stories about how exciting it is, so why not?
I think we're both glad to be here, I think, pretty much.
I was excited to get invited, so I'm looking forward to it. I suppose I'll be hooked too if I see one.
It's basically my life now. I mean, I'm just about obsessed with going out and witnessing these storms. I am somewhat upset sometimes when I have to miss a storm that's worthwhile to see, because no two storms are alike, and each one has a character all its own. So that's one reason I like to go out, take photographic documentation of them and videotape. You know, that also helps out the warning personnel. You're able to call back the warning, and tornadoes do not normally come out of just dark cloud bases. There's a set pattern to large tornadoes, and that's one good reason why we go out, so that they have something to work off of to know what to look for if that pattern ever arises again. There is a competitiveness to it, that's for sure. Someone's going to be lucky. I'm playing the lotto with the atmosphere here. Someone is going to win big, and I hope it's me. But there's so many people out here that a few of them are really going to see a big show. You know, we're going to have to go pretty far west if we're to see anything today. So it's one of those days, all or nothing, and it looks like for this general area where we are right now, it's going to be pretty much nothing. Looks like we're going to have to go out west a little bit further. And if nothing's forming by 7 o'clock or so, then find a motel, that kind of thing, and set up for tomorrow. Tomorrow's the show.
Gene is still convinced that this weather system will produce large tornadoes, but not today. After 12 hours and more than 600 miles on the road, he and his friends have seen nothing more impressive than a few scattered clouds. Now they're in the neighboring state of Kansas, and their hopes are pinned on tomorrow. They check into a motel after ensuring that it meets 2 requirements. It's equipped with cable television, so they can tune into the 24-hour-a-day Weather Channel.
Looks like it's dying out.
These could keep going and growing.
Decreasing.
Here we go.
I can get the FD data for this. You can?
And it has a phone system that would allow them to access weather data with their computer.
What they're saying is that the dry land is going to blast through all of Kansas tomorrow, and what we see is the moisture's back.
What they have on the map there is a cold front, and I'd like to see if there's very much cold air behind it in Colorado that's blasting down. Should be doing that already if it's gonna come through Kansas by tomorrow evening. I think the smartest thing to do at this point is to go a little east, be in the central part of the state, north central part of the state, where you have access to the road networks like we have the interstate here. We've got a main north-south highway, so we can go south if we need to. We can go east if we need to. We can go north. So basically, we have it covered for tomorrow. We're in a central location, and that's important.
In the night, the weather system has gone past them. Gene and his friends must now reverse direction and head east. They're looking for what they call the dry line, the boundary between moist and dry air masses where storms usually occur. As clouds begin to appear, they ready their video cameras.
Well, we got some towering cumulus going up on the on the dry line, it looks like the show has begun.
They're becoming thunderstorms as we speak, and will rapidly become severe and perhaps produce tornadoes in an hour or two. So, you know, we'll see what we can see there. All set?
Yep.
All righty.
This is the National Weather Service Forecast Office in Topeka, Kansas. Tornado watch number 353 is in effect for all of northeast and much of east central Kansas.
You know, we've gone 413 miles today. So, looks like there's a thunderstorm base right there.
First in the northeast and east central Kansas.
No, it's just hard to see. It almost looks tropical with so much low clouds and stuff in the way.
By mid-afternoon, Gene's group has caught the storm front, and they find themselves under a shelf of dark clouds. But to Gene's eye, they're not the right sort of clouds.
So we like to see cleaner storms than this. It's really been a tough day.
Gene has finally found a storm, but he's not happy. It's what the chasers call a high precipitation storm, or HP for short. This means that the storm contains lots of rain and hail.
These kind of storms are very nasty, though. And I don't know if I like the situation we're in right now. Not good for large hail. Well, the core is mainly down there, but it's coming up towards us. It's the north side of the storm here. Oh, big CG.
These storms also produce lightning. Chasers refer to lightning bolts that strike the earth as CG, short for clouds at ground.
It does look interesting.
This sort of storm can be dangerous. It might produce a tornado that's hidden, wrapped in sheets of rain.
It looks suspicious there just in front of us. This might be worth looking at, believe it or not.
The twister could appear suddenly without warning.
There's a term often used where you're chasing a thunderstorm that it's cloaked in rain and hail. You punch through a wall or get inside, and you're able to see the little pretty package inside, which is sometimes a very dreadful tornado. We call that the bear's cage, when you're inside the cage with the bear.
One of the hallmarks of a veteran storm chaser is a well-dented car.
Let's see if it gets any larger here. I think the winds have lightened up, so don't like losing my windshield in it, so we'll stay here for a little bit. Pretty small hail here. How big? Oh, marble size. Feet of marble. Yeah, I think we're good. Oh, so you got a severe thunderstorm there. That's going to be probably the high point of the day. Looks like a rotating storm, but it's an HP storm, and the roads are poor here, and there's just no way to keep up with it. So who knows what it might do later on as it moves northeast. We've gone 423 today, and I imagine 600-700 miles yesterday, almost. Well, it's certainly over 1,000 miles. You know, you have to do it for a system like this. You have to do that kind of thing to see stuff. And like we say, an average of 1 maybe or 2 out of every 10 chases results in a tornado. It's like playing the lottery. If you don't buy a lottery ticket, you have no chance of winning. And same goes for storm chasing. If you don't go out, you have no chance at seeing a tornado. So I think we're all losers, other than just enjoying the scenery and you know, a nice good old-fashioned thunderstorm there. I don't know if we can call ourselves losers, actually. There might be a good sunset tonight, too, this evening. And, you know, it's always worth to go out there and look at that kind of stuff.
The tornado that swept across Kansas on April 26, 1991, left a trail of destruction 40 miles long and nearly a mile wide. In the small town of Andover alone, more than 300 homes were destroyed. But due to Doppler radar, which can detect the circulating winds that precede a tornado, and the reports of storm chasers, warnings were issued 45 minutes before the twister struck. Remarkably, only 13 lives were lost.
If you look at statistics for tornado deaths in the United States, if you go back, say, 1950s and earlier, on an annual basis, it's very typical you'll see 200, 300, almost 1,000 people killed in the United States. The 20-year average now, last 20 years, the average number of deaths in the U.S. is down to 69. And I think that's due in great deal to better technology. We have radar. We have Doppler radar now, which helps tremendously. So really, there's as many, if not more, tornadoes than there ever used to be. It's just that we have better warnings, better technology, and a better educated public.
The Doppler weather radars, built in the 1970s, have one important limitation. They don't move. They must wait for storms to come within their range. More useful, especially to the scientists who study the dynamics of tornadoes, are portable radar systems. A group at the University of Oklahoma is helping develop a new portable radar that will allow them to study tornadoes up close.
With the former radar, we were seeing raindrops and trash flying through the tornado. With the new radar, we can also see, or we believe we can see, cloud droplets also. So with the new radar, we have hope of getting right inside the tornado condensation funnel itself. We don't know a lot about tornadoes. First of all, what are the conditions which make tornadoes favorable in some supercells but not in others? We don't have really even the vaguest notion as to why that might be. What is the source of rotation within tornadoes? We now have several hypotheses which we're almost able to test now that we have this new radar.
Professor Bluestein is one of the foremost tornado experts in the world. He and a group of his students are testing their new portable Doppler radar. It's the latest equipment available, the leading edge of weather science. But the season's nearly over, and they have yet to find a tornado. A cold front is approaching from the west. The puffy cumulus clouds building up into the sky show that moist air is present and that strong updrafts are formed. These are promising signs for development of rotating or supercell storms, the kind that most often produce tornadoes.
Looks like a classic supercell, but there's no wall cloud. This is the flanking line over here, and the main towers are somewhere up ahead. And I would be watching these clouds right in here for a little bit. We're going to wait until it moves off a little bit more to the northeast before we move on ahead. See the differential motion? These scud are moving that way, those scud are moving that way. Oh, that is exploding here. That very well could be the next one. If we're in a bad position over here, that could do it in the next few minutes. Let's go.
Storm chasing is more challenging than just finding storms. Chasers must try to position themselves to see any tornadoes that might form, while at the same time staying out of their path. The conditions look right, but so far no sign of a tornado.
Right there. No wall cloud yet.
Although tornadoes can occur at any time of day or night, usually they're triggered off during the heat of the afternoon. As evening approaches, the chances of finding a tornado evaporate.
I don't think anything else is going to happen today. I think we're going to hope that there may be storms tomorrow. I suspect from what I saw from the computer models that the vertical wind shear may be a lot weaker tomorrow than today. So there's a very good chance that there will be storms tomorrow. They'll probably be severe, but I think the likelihood of seeing a tornadic supercell tomorrow is less than the likelihood of seeing one today. But I could be wrong. Andy, you might go on long range, low resolution first.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Just
yeah.
for
The next day, a rotating storm is approaching, but Professor Bluestein is not optimistic that it will contain tornadoes.
Up in rain, and it should be about 9 or 10 miles off to our southwest right now. Pretty good CG over there. So we're going to take some low-resolution, long-range data, just in case there's something out there, and get some practice. See if we can pick up the circulation as it crosses the river.
Is it this way or that way?
Southwest. It's out there somewhere.
Okay.
So try to do a scan from about due west to about south-southwest, so we can see what looks like a gust front.
There's a lot of rain in this storm, and visibility is not good. Professor Bluestein can see only the front edge of the storm, what chasers call the gust front.
You see what I see? That may not mean anything. There is looks like a gust front that's all racing out this way. But that whole band, though, is curved in, right in over there. Andy?
Yeah?
Andy, I think that the center of the circulation is going to be right over there.
Okay.
Do you have the... try to aim for cloud base if you can. That's raging outflow. Andy, you've got about another minute or so. Just keep sector scanning, and then we're going to have to get out.
Why don't you tell me the exact direction that you expect it to come from?
Try aiming it up to the west, and we're going to have to move here. Yeah, we better move.
Okay, going up, Andy, turn off. I can't go. I have to finish the scan.
Okay, finish the scan, and we'll go.
As soon as you're done, let me know.
There's enough time.
Wait, why do we have to move? It's going to rain real heavy in a second.
Yeah, we've got something coming to the ground right over there.
Yeah. There it goes. I'm going to go right through that. It's over there. I'm going to go right through that.
That looks as if it's a tornado right now.
High resolution mode. I'm going to go right through it.
It's just about to go into the trees. You better hurry.
Okay, now? Yeah, go ahead. I'm done. Okay, they're off. I'm out of here.
The National Severe Storm
Nice job, guys.
issued a tornado watch.
Too bad it was rain wrapped and we had trees. Andy, okay, when you were doing the horizontal scan at the very end, did you see the funnel?
The survival is taking immediate action. If caught outside or in a vehicle, seek shelter by lying in a ditch or culvert with your hands covering your head for protection.
Once again, a tornado watch. Number 353 is in effect.
It looked like a funnel. Just about touching the ground, and you got it. Excellent. Very good.
All right, you guys. We went right through the funnel. Right through the funnel. It was... I don't think we took any photographs, but it was perfect. We were supposed to get Doppler images of the circulation funnel and reflectivity. So we should be able to see the rain bands coming around the funnel and having the rain move away and come towards us as the funnel is circulating. So, and at high resolution, at 30-meter resolution. So it should be the first ever. Should be great. You just gotta look at it.
I don't know. But I don't see anything here that jumps out at me. So therefore, it's just gust front shear. I don't know. What you have here, at least, is a very, very fine resolution look at a gust front. So we at least have that. Whether or not that thing that looked like a funnel really was a tornado or not, I don't know. If it were a tornado of the type that you usually see in a supercell, you there's a likelihood, good likelihood, you wouldn't have had all the rain, you would have seen the rotation. It would have been clear cut. This is not so clear cut. I'm not convinced. It's quite frustrating, especially right now when we've gotten the bugs out of the system, we believe, and the season's just about over. So we'll have to wait until next March or early April before severe weather really returns.
Something I identify with. Well, I did the opposite. I went out my very first time, and I went storm chasing. I saw a tornado, and then I haven't seen one since then. I've seen a lot of storms. I see.
It's mid-June, and as the tornado season ends, storm chasers gather from all over Tornado Alley to swap war stories and show each other their tornado videos.
1,000 feet. But it never...
Everybody picks up a little bit here and there, and we all get together, we see a lot. And this is the whole thing. It's a, sort of a camaraderie. Storm chasing is a social thing. It is a thing where you go out at some remote intersection in the rural part of the country, and you get to see people that you haven't seen in a year. And so this is a part of storm chasing. It's part of meeting people, talking about our favorite topic, which is tornadoes.
Went out based on some data that I collected earlier that morning. The outlook, severe weather outlook that came out of Kansas City that morning, indicated that there was a risk of severe thunderstorms. So I just loaded up the truck and got my video camera and got loaded up and headed out. And I forget, I think it's 400 or 500 miles I had on my odometer when I actually saw the tornado itself.
That's a tornado on the ground. Big tornado. Big tornado. Big tornado. Oh my goodness. Stop. Stop. Two tornadoes. Oh, two tornadoes.
On the ground. Tornado. Falling out of the sky. Toronto northwest.
There's no way you can grip the emotion of seeing something that large that extends 10 or 12 miles up into the atmosphere, and it's just there like some type of a sculptured model or something. There's a lot of apprehension and excitement and a lot of contesting emotions there that come to mind. And same day with the situation of the tornado, because you know that people may be getting killed and there's damage occurring possibly and all those things. You can capture quite a bit of it, but you can't capture the emotion of what you're seeing there. So.
Laverne's gonna get hit. Warn Laverne. Tell those people to get down. This is big time. This is unbelievable. I have a half-mile wide tornado on the ground heading toward the Laverne area. It is heading toward the town of Laverne. Warn people in that area to please take cover. I see lights up ahead of me. It is heading toward those lights. The lights just went out. Lights just went out of the gas plant here. The lights went out in most of this area out here. Please, mister, don't go in there. I got the police coming by. It's now crossing Highway 3. I have police cars whizzing by me now toward the area. It's crossing Highway 3 right now. I have a large tornado on the ground. It looks like it's tearing through the town of Laverne. I've got two police cars with lights rolling and different whizzing by me and rolling in front of me. It is crossing Highway 3, moving to the northeast. So we are following that storm now to see what damages it has wrought. It was unbelievable. This thing has been on the ground since 3 and 283. Police officers are stopping in front of us now.
In terms of human lives, the deadliest U.S. tornado occurred one afternoon in March of 1925. In a matter of hours, a series of twisters swept through Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana, killing 689 people. But technology and increased warnings have lowered the death toll. In 1993, there were nearly 1,200 tornadoes across the United States. There were only 33 fatalities. Interestingly enough, while tornadoes appear all over the world, they are more prevalent in this country than any other. Scientists say it's a combination of our geography and wind patterns. That's something that should keep the storm chasers busy for years to come.